Hi, it's Jeanette with JB's Explore and More, and today I thought I would focus on decluttering at my own house. My mom needs to take a little bit of a break from decluttering at her house because she gets sore. She has a bad back, and I understand that. I also need to take a break from time to time from decluttering at my mom's because I get overwhelmed. We're hoping to have a big barn sale there in a couple of weeks, but I'm not sure if we'll be ready in time. I did go up there after work today for about an hour and a half and organized a little bit, but now I'm home. And today I'm going to focus on my bedroom. I strive to be a minimalist. I watch a lot of minimalism videos about decluttering, organizing, and living that lifestyle. But it's a struggle. Um, I'll admit I struggle on staying organized, putting things away, procrastination. I think a lot of us can relate to these things, but I will show you some trouble areas in my house. I call them the hotspots where I would like to do better. Um, I strive to not store things in every nook and cranny. Just because it's there doesn't mean it needs to be filled with something. I like to be able to feel like I can breathe in a room. I like it to be feng shui when you walk into the room so it feels open instead of closed off. My bedroom had way too many furniture pieces in it, so a few months ago I actually got rid of some of them. One of those was a stand-up jewelry box that I had, and I'll show you the space where that sat. I barely wear jewelry anymore, so I didn't really see the need to keep a tall jewelry box that had doors that opened on both sides for necklaces, drawers for bracelets and rings, and all sorts of other things. I use the bottom two drawers on the jewelry box to store memorabilia. I basically only wear earrings. I don't even wear necklaces or bracelets. So I downsized my jewelry and gave some to my cousin. And then on another wall, I had a little bench seat that I would store um, sheets and pillowcases in. And I had that since the 90s. It was really cute, but again, way too many furniture pieces. Um, so I eliminated that. And then I took some things down to the basement that I was storing in my bedroom, such as a picture that I had tucked between a dresser and the wall. And then I also had one of those gigantic roll underneath the bed plastic bins on wheels. That was under the bed, and it had a bunch of t-shirts of my husband's in it. Ones that are more nostalgic for him, so he didn't want to get rid of those. So I put those all in a tote, and the storage bin is empty down in the basement. I'll probably end up selling that eventually. And I'm gonna turn you around and show you some of the areas in my bedroom. Okay, here in this corner is where that little bench seat used to sit. Now we just have our air purifier here. So if you look at this wall, I have a little bookcase with our TV, which I never wanted a TV in the bedroom, but my husband likes it. And I will admit it is nice to lie in bed in the morning on the weekend and watch YouTube videos. It's pretty relaxing, but I rarely watch TV in the bedroom. So it was a compromise. And then I have this big armoire here for our clothes. So this whole entire wall used to be full of furniture. And then over here behind the door, we have a luggage rack, some jackets. And I used to have a hook on the back of this door full of purses, and it looked very cluttered. So I removed that and put all of the purses in a bin in my basement. I think that looks more refreshing this way. I even decluttered the top of my dresser. And yes, there's still a lot of stuff up here. I think but it was worse. I got rid of some little knick-knack type items, um, but this one I'm going to keep because my best friend Terry gave this to me, and I think it's really beautiful. This I got when my grandma passed away, a little trinket jar, and on the bottom she wrote on it 1987, and she got this as a gift from her sister-in-law from Holland. And I love this little tea light that I got at a garage sale. It looks really beautiful lit up, so I'm keeping that. My mom made me this to put on top of the dresser, which is really nice. My husband and my engagement photo. That's been displayed for about 10 years now. Hard to believe. And then I keep this little peacock tray up on my dresser for my earrings. I got this tree stand at a garage sale, and it's actually for candles, but some of the little votive cup holders were missing. So I removed the rest of those, and I just use it to hang my earrings on. My bedroom kind of has a tree theme, so I thought that matched nicely. Another little candle holder. I just have some random photos lying up here that I need to put away. This is my mom and her siblings when they were young. My mom's at the top there, the little cowgirl. What an adorable photo. I love it. And that's me when I was a little girl. But I'd like to get this one framed. You might be wondering why I have an alien up on my dresser. That was my stepfather's mouse pad for his computer, Alienware computer, and he passed away, so I asked my mom if I could keep it. I'll probably hang it on my wall at some point. And things like this that I just need to put away. My mom made me this earring rack. She gets picture frames from thrift stores and removes the glass and the photos, and then she adds chicken wire to it, and it's a really unique way to hang earrings and display them. That way you can see everything that you have. I liked this particular frame because of how ornate it is, and I like the color. Kind of matches my bedroom. And this bookcase is a clutter area. I'm sure that you can all relate to this. We all have these clutter areas in our home where we just kind of throw things. It's actually cleaner than it usually is. But I do have some photos up here that I'm going to give to family members, a dust rag because I was dusting. And then I'm storing some more jewelry in these little round plastic containers. My dad made me this jewelry box for Christmas one year. We had a theme of a homemade Christmas, and everyone had to give each other a gift that was homemade. So I'm not very crafty, so what I did, I made people mix tapes and homemade calendars. Yes, it was that long ago. Mix cassette tapes. Down here, I store some little boxes of cards and stickers and memorabilia, as well as some photos. Inside this armoire, my husband and I share this space, and as you can tell on the top, he has a lot of t-shirts, and I even moved the shelf down so he would have more room, but they never stay nicely organized because when you pull one out, the rest of them get messed up. And then I have the middle shelf and the bottom shelf here. He has the whole other dresser over there for his clothes. And this one's kind of more my dresser. I like the Marie Kondo way of folding t-shirts. and I can show you that later. I had mine all folded that way for a while. My husband did not like it, but when they're folded that way in a drawer, you can see everything and they take up less space. It was funny because when I started watching her videos, my husband said, "Damn you, Marie Kondo." He was joking, kind of. I even like to fold my socks the Marie Kondo way. And then over here, I used to have a large piece of art stored back here, but I ended up giving that to a friend. Okay, hopefully that you can see this. Most of my t-shirts are down in the basement in storage for winter, but it's about time to bring those back up. I'm going to try to fold this the Marie Kondo way if I can remember. You just do it like in thirds, like this, and then fold the sleeves inward if they're hanging over. And then you take the bottom part up almost to the top, but you leave about 1.5 inch gap. And then you just fold your shirt into thirds. And then it's a neat little bundle here. And then you set it in your drawer upright like this. And you can see kind of all of your t-shirts, what they are, what the designs are, and pick them out pretty easily. Whereas if they're just all lying on top of each other, it's hard to get one out and put it back away neatly. So when I get my t-shirts out of the basement and get them back up here, which will be pretty soon, I'm going to fold them all like this and put them in my drawer like that. And I actually will fill up one entire dresser drawer that way. And as you can tell, there's a box stored underneath my dresser. It's some old family photos that my mom gave me and a scrapbook that she had when she was married to my dad. So it's something really precious that I don't really want to keep down in the basement. So I store it up here, but I don't really like having it underneath the dresser. I might store it in my closet or somewhere else at a later point. Of course, people visiting my house won't know that I have this box shoved underneath my dresser, but I know it's here. And, you know, it bothers me somewhat. Our family. That was my mom when she was little. So cute. So adorable. And then, dun dun dun, more storage stuff underneath my bed. I had another bin just like this one stored underneath my bed. But like I said, I emptied that one into a tote and took it downstairs. This one has wrapping paper in it. And these are really nice. If you live in a small house like we do, 700 and some square feet, you need all the storage space you can get, trust me. We don't even have a linen closet or a hall closet to hang our coats. So we try to be creative, looking for ways to store things. So this is just Christmas wrapping paper and birthday wrapping paper. When I got rid of my stand-up jewelry box, which used to sit right here on this wall underneath my earrings, I just think it kind of opened up the room more. And the problem is, when I emptied those drawers, I just threw everything into this bin. Not this hat, that was already in there, but a lot of the stuff from my jewelry box ended up in this. And now I have to sort through all of this stuff and try to figure out where I'm going to put it, or if I'm going to get rid of it. I don't even know what all is in here. Pictures, hair clips, nostalgic matchbooks. I really like this one that says Disco from the Holiday Inn. I love disco and I love the 70s. Anything from the 70s I probably love. Vintage, nostalgic stuff. Thank you for letting me stay. I slept really good last night. Love, Mom. Another matchbook from Las Vegas, Revolution, the Beatles. Oh boy, my tassels from high school and college graduation. Do you all still have your tassels? What do you do with them? Do you put them in a scrapbook? These are just like old coins. Huh, my old name tag when I worked at the movie theater as a ticket girl. And this was my dad's belt buckle that he wore in the 70s. He had a Corvette. So this is kind of precious to me. I don't really want to get rid of that. Sentimental. I have a lot of my old driver's license photos. They cut them in half. That's what they used to do. If you wanted to keep your picture, they would cut these in half and let you keep part of it. My mom drew this face on this rock, and I've kept it for a really long time. It's a happy and sad face. Kind of like the theater masks. I have old buttons that I used to wear in high school on my jacket. One of my favorite bands in high school, the Psychedelic Furs. And this is my grandma's Seasons Pass to Six Flags, 1978. She loved going to Six Flags. She was a kid at heart. I might see if my cousin wants this. You know, you get to a certain point in your life where you feel like you're just getting older and, you know, what are you going to do with all of this stuff? If you don't have kids, who's going to want it? Huh. There's an old picture of me when I used to go roller skating. I was about 11 years old here, thinking that I'm a badass. I've got my Vet Set glitter 70s decal on my t-shirt, and I'm wearing a wristband and my cool flare bottom jeans. Those were the days. Here are some old coins from Europe. This was before they even had the euro. Back when I went to Holland in the 80s and they had the guilder. Yeah, so lots of junk that fills up this entire bin, and I don't know what to do with all of this stuff, but I definitely want to declutter it at some point. And here are some Beatles trading cards that my dad used to have before he passed away. So I don't know how old they are. Oops, upside down. 21 in a series of 60. They're kind of cool. My husband's favorite band, the Beatles. Mine is Rush. This is a pink golf ball that was my grandpa's. He had a huge bucket of golf balls, and when he passed away a couple of years ago, I just kept this one. And then this little box. It's a little music box. I bought that for my dad for his birthday one year. And after he passed away, I got it back. And in this bottom bin, I keep books, but I don't know when I'm ever going to read these. I'm procrastinating on reading these days because I'm distracted by other things like social media, so I don't read books like I used to. Unfortunately, because that used to be one of my joys. And then in the top one, I basically just keep lotion and chapstick and things like that, health and beauty aids. Okay, the closet. Do you like my little butterfly knobs? I thought those were so cute. I never did paint the wood, I just left it natural. This closet cost me about $500. I had a friend redo it for me. So it's kind of more like a walk-in closet. And when I first moved into this house, which this house was built in the 1940s, so everything was super duper old, from the wallpaper in the kitchen to the carpeting in the bedroom. It was in really bad shape. But little by little, over time, I got everything the way that I like it now. And I'm really proud of this closet. It's got 2 racks, mine on the top and my husband's on the bottom. And then I just recently put it in this little cube thing to store sheets and blankets on. And then over here we have a shoe rack, which is really nice. And then up there I put sheets and more blankets. Winter stuff and summer stuff. I changed this out up here for like winter and summer socks. I actually have some space up there where I can store something. And then we hang our belts over here on this. So yeah, I'm probably going to go back through my clothes and try to declutter some more of those. My husband has a ton of dress shirts that he never wears. So about every year we go through these and I try to get him to declutter some of them, and he'll usually come up with a few to get rid of. I think even though I love this sweater right here, I might get rid of this one. It's unique, it's warm, it's beautiful, but kind of a pain to wear something this long, especially when you go to the restroom. You always have to be really careful that you don't accidentally dip it into the toilet. Plus, I don't really have a shirt that matches for underneath. I need to get a white t-shirt if I'm going to keep it. So I don't know, something to think about. But in the very least, since it's an autumn sweater, I should put this in a tote and store it downstairs instead of up here in my closet right now. And a lot of the clothes, some of them, well, I'll say some of them, are more dressy because I used to have an office job. I don't have that anymore where I have to dress up. You can tell this half I've gone more the flannel route, which is informal. I'm trying to get away from wearing the color black. I like more of earth tones, purple, green, brown, navy. So, yeah. I don't really wear many of these clothes hanging up anymore. I wear mostly hoodies and sweatshirts and t-shirts. A problem area for me, I have 1, 2, 3, and I think there are 2 more in the other room of black tennis shoes. Why do I have so many black tennis shoes? I don't need that many. That seems a little exorbitant. I do have my weak spots. I have a thing for jackets, shoes, earrings. I used to have way many more earrings than I do now, so I'm doing better in that area. One thing I forgot to show, this on top of my armoire. You know, I just threw it up there to get it out of my way. And it's a box of old negatives that were my grandma's. I'm going through these and scanning these in for the family, sharing those. We have a little family group on Facebook, and I like to share these old pictures with everyone. It makes them really happy, and they relive fond memories, and it's a lot of fun, but it's also time consuming. But yeah, definitely very precious. So I'm not going to get rid of those. One other area that I forgot to show you is down here below my husband's clothes. I have these plastic storage containers full of photos. 2 of them. Just full. And you know, back when we used to still print photos, I took a lot of pictures, put it that way. And the older ones, when I was a child growing up, I'm not going to get rid of any of those, but some of the newer ones I might go through and discard, you know, old boyfriends and things of that nature. But I don't know who's going to want these photos later after I'm gone. They're probably one of my more precious items that I own. Lots of good memories, but they're my memories. They're not anyone else's memories. So, you know, old cars that I owned, my graduation from college. So, family. There's all kinds of stuff. Don't want to part with those. I have to show you this old picture of my grandma. She was so pretty. This is my mom's mom, Ferna. Beautiful lady. She was gray already in her 30s, and if I didn't color my hair, I would say that I probably am too, but I don't want to find out. Not yet, anyway. And then this picture here, this is when I first started my journalism career. My hair was really long. This was in 1992. Different hairstyles back then. You should see some of the hairstyles I had in the 80s and 90s with the tall bangs. I'll have to see if I can find some of those at some point. You'll get a good laugh out of those. It's just interesting the way that people turn out, because on my mom's side of the family, my grandma was a classic hoarder, and then some of her children ended up having those tendencies. On my dad's side of the family, my grandma was a clean freak. She was the extreme opposite end. I mean, I remember going over to her house and she was up on a ladder removing pictures off the wall to dust the wall behind the pictures. That's how serious she was about cleaning. She was also from Holland, and it seems like the Dutch are pretty clean people. They take great pride in their homes, so I don't know if that was something she learned from living over there or her parents. But I think that growing up with both grandmas and seeing the different ways of living and lifestyles, I went the route of my father's mother, which I'm thankful for, because I'd much prefer to be a minimalist than a hoarder. It just, I think, gives you more peace of mind when you don't have all of the clutter around. And not to mention saving money from not buying a lot of things that you really don't need. And because I grew up living with my mom after my parents were divorced, I have I don't know if you call it a hang up or a phobia of clutter or what you want to call it, but I do feel the need to constantly purge. I like to take inventory of the things that I own in my home and go through those every 6 months to a year and get rid of things that I don't need. It's just ingrained in me to get rid of excess so that the clutter does not build up. It's, I guess, a fear that I have after seeing the way that my grandma turned out. My grandma on my mom's side had a 4-bedroom house that was filled from ceiling to floor in every single room. Her basement, every single room. And, you know, that is just not a healthy lifestyle. So, again, I'm glad that I went to the other extreme and that I live a simpler lifestyle. This is just a piece of decor I have on the wall. It's got the tree and bird theme. And then over here, there's another tree in the corner. And then this beautiful print that says Spirit of the Night with a little fairy. And this was actually from 1879. Can't really see it because of the glare. But that's basically the tour of the bedroom. Let me know if you have any problem areas like this and what you think is a good amount of furniture pieces to have in a room. Do you like having a more open room? Do you like it to be more functional or pleasing aesthetically? What's your preference? Thanks so much for watching this little short video at my home, and I hope that you'll keep following me on this decluttering journey. I appreciate everyone's comments. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And until then, I hope that you can find an adventure, create some memories, and be happy.